Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. There is a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sisters. She said, "Hello brother Nashi, I have a question to ask you." And I said, "Yes, you can tell me your story." She then said, "Is it even possible that one can live a normal life after you have known that there is someone whom you called one of your best friend committing suicide? Can you live a normal life after someone has written a letter before they have taken their life? And in that letter that they wrote just before they had committed suicide, and they mention your name and they say that you are the one who is responsible for them committing suicide. Such is the case, my brother, that I am facing day and night. I am suffering, and this spirit, my brother, that keep on tormenting me, it always waits for me when I am about to relax. Then that dear friend of mine who died, and when she died, she took her life. She just comes to me and she will just appear in front of me. And this thing, my brother, it is very tormenting and it is very scary. And there were days when I thought that I'll get used to the fact that the spirit of my dead friend keeps on appearing to me, but I just can't get used to it, because sometimes what this spirit does to me is that it waits for me to fall asleep. Just when I have fallen asleep, that is when I would open my eyes and I will see my dead friend staring right into my eyes. And my brother, if one has ever been in that situation whereby you are face to face with a spirit, an evil spirit, you can never get used to that kind of a situation. No matter how many times you have seen a spirit of your dead friend, you can never get used to seeing a demonic spirit. I have tried to go to different prayer sessions, but nothing is working. Let me go back in the past about how this thing started. I grew up in this other neighborhood. Then there was this other friend of mine. Let me go back in the past so that you can understand my situation. I grew up in a very quiet neighborhood. In the neighborhood that I grew up in, we cannot say that people there were very rich, but this other friend of mine, her father was very rich. But unfortunately for her, the reason why she could not stay with her father, it was because her father had many wives because he was so rich. So she grew up with her mother, and when she had turned 16, that was when she went and started staying with her father. Her father was from Enugu State, and he was quite a rich man, and he had a lot of businesses. He had ventured into the businesses of oil and gas. So when my friend went and started staying with her father, me and her, for a couple of years, we were not in communication with each other. But when she came back, my brother, she seemed to be so heartbroken, because from the very first day that she came back, at that time I had just turned 19, and she was a little bit older than I was. She was about to turn 20. She then told me everything that had happened to her when she had gone to stay with her father. She told me that her father, from the very first night that she arrived at his house, her father then started to abuse her, like having sexual relationships with her. And whenever she would try to refuse, because she said that sometimes her father would come back home late at night, then the father would come straight into her bedroom. Then the father would get into her bed and start making love to her as if she was one of her father's wives. And whenever she would try to refuse, her father then would then blow something into her face. Then she would do whatever her father wanted her to do. And as she was telling me all of her struggles that she had faced when she was staying with her father, I also cried because she was crying. But later in our relationship, my brother, I then started to tell everyone what my friend had told me. And that friend of mine, she had told me that I was not supposed to tell anyone this secret that she had told me. She said that she had only told me this secret because in me she had seen someone whom she could trust. but in the picture they came this other man. So this man that came into the picture, the man had first proposed love to me, but I do not even know what happened, because along the way, this man, when I had introduced my boyfriend, we were not yet boyfriend and girlfriend, but he had told me that he had found me to be interesting, and I had told him that I was still going to think about it because there was another man that I was dating. So I wanted to end that useless relationship first so that I can get into a relationship with this man that had told me that I was so interesting to him. So when I had introduced him to my friend, they then started talking to each other behind my back. I only knew about this when they had already slept together, and I was really heartbroken. For a couple of months, I didn't want to speak with my friends, and I didn't want anything to do with her because she had stolen my boyfriend from me. In my mind, I had told myself that she was rich already, and I could not even understand why she had chosen to take this man far away from me. And this man, my brother, he was a man who was going to change my life because he was financially stable. But as for my friend, she had chosen to steal this boyfriend far away from me, because in that man I had seen a man that I was going to get married to. But here they were already sleeping with each other. That was when I thought of revenge. With the way that I was hurt, my brother, I then started telling anyone who wanted to listen the secret that I had been told by my friend. I told everyone. I waited until they were about to get married. That was when I approached that man who had first approached me, and I told him that whole story that my friend had told me. When I told him this secret, he said that this was too much of a taboo and he didn't want to get involved with such a family. He then told me that he had to look for a way so as to break up with my friend, but he wanted to make sure that he wanted to break up with my friend in such a way that she was not going to suspect that the reason why he was breaking up with her, it was because of this secret that I had told him. So my brother, I then told him that the easiest way that he could break up with my friend is if my friend was going to find out that me and him had slept together. So my brother, that is what we did. There was this other day I was speaking with my friend. She then told me that she was coming over to my place so as to check up on me, since I had not spoken with her in a very long time because I was just giving her a cold shoulder. So I said, it is fine, you can come. So she said, okay, my bestie, I am coming. I then told him that her fiance, my friend, was coming over to my place. So he came first. Then we pretended as if we had just finished making love, and I deliberately left the front door open. So she just came and she knocked, and when she walked inside, she then saw that I had nothing but a towel. I had nothing but a bath towel that was wrapped around my body, as well as her fiance. He only had a bath towel that was wrapped around his body. When she saw this, my brother, she nearly collapsed. She walked outside, then she started crying, and at that moment, all that I wanted was revenge. And I had forgotten that my friend, after she had been abused by her father for a very, very long time, she was now suicidal. So when she walked away, I never even bothered to check up on her. After she had committed suicide, that was when a letter was found in her bedroom. I have tried confessing, my brother, to different pastors. I have tried, but no matter how hard I have tried confessing, it seems not to be working. The spiritual attacks that I face, my brother, is whenever I get into a relationship with a man that will be promising to marry me, then the spiritual attacks will begin. Whenever I see my friend who committed suicide in my dreams, then I will know that the men that I'll be dating will start assaulting me. And it is very painful that a man who would have claimed to love you so much that he would have told you that he wants to get married to you eventually, that man within a short period of time will start to beat you up as if you mean nothing to him. That is the kind of a situation that I am facing, Brother Nashi. Dear listeners, right there was a message that I received from our dear sister. She was saying, Brother Nashi, how can one live a normal life when you know that there is someone out there who committed suicide and you are the one who is responsible for them committing suicide? Such a sad story.